AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Coming right up, another fun varsity sports show.
Hi kids, this is DJ Soulman from the Funk Junkies, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show with my man Vince Delicio. And what's your last name?
It's Delicio.
Okay, that's right. That's what I thought. Yeah, right. Okay.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
How about that, everybody? Welcome in to the Varsity Sports Show. Saturday morning, 8 to 10, just like always. No Vince today. He's playing hooky once again, so he calls on me because I'm apparently his backup. Ryan Sikora, joined in studio by a bunch of other interns here today. Lofton Lechner, Shea, Dorian Zavala. Guys, this is as good of a studio crow as I think I've been surrounded by since I've been doing this. That includes when I'm doing it with Vince, so I'm happy.
Yeah, really happy to be here today with you, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. It's great to be here.
Great to be here, Ryan. Thank you.
So we got Bennett Solomon coming up at 8:05 for a Florida high school report, but we'll start here. We'll talk to you guys for a second. We'll go down the line. We'll start with Dorian. Dorian, give us a little synopsis about you.
Well, I'm a senior at ASU, looking forward to graduating at the end of this semester, so just looking forward to what comes after this.
Yeah, same with Dorian, Ryan. I'm also a senior at ASU. I can't wait to see what the future holds after I plan to graduate this December, so after that. And yeah, I just love the sporting world overall, so I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, so I guess all three of us co-hosts, we will all be graduating here in December, all seniors. Yeah, I'm really excited to get started in the world of sports once that comes around in December.
What is everybody's sort of, I guess, specialty? If you're still figuring it out, you can say everything. I don't really care.
I want to learn everything.
Yeah.
I want to be part of everything, in front of the mic, behind the mic. Like, I'm excited about today, my first time in front of a microphone, but I'm really, really excited just to learn everything, all aspects of it.
Yeah, same. I think with being in the media, our field, I think we have that opportunity to kind of explore so many different options. So along with Dorian, I'm open to any option.
Yeah, I've been doing broadcasts for a while now, so I already know what I want to do, and for me, that's production and running graphics somewhere. That's what I've been doing here at ASU for the past 3 years now, and that's what I'm going to be doing when I leave here in December.
There's not a lot of people who come through Cronkite and decide that early that they want to do production, though, right, Lofton? That seems like it was kind of not a weird decision, but a off-the-beaten-path one.
Yeah, it was, and that was because I had already done play-by-play in high school. So with that experience, I then decided to transition to that production side because I came to ASU and realized everyone wanted to do play-by-play. So I quickly realized that niche in production was very much needed, and I jumped in there. And with that experience, it really set me up well when I graduate here.
Right, and then I guess we've got you three. I'm Ryan Sikora. I'm a junior at Cronkite, so I'm a little bit younger than the co-host next to me today. I'm kind of the exact opposite of Lofton. I want to do, and I want to be all on air. I don't want to touch the behind-the-scenes stuff. I'm not for it, That's why Lofton is great, because Lofton helps me do my job way better than I could even do my job without him. And I think we're going to go to Bennett now. I think Bennett Solomon, our University of Florida correspondent, is up on through the phones. Bennett, can you hear us?
I can hear you, Ryan. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. All right, Bennett, I think you're going through a Florida high school football update here for us today, top 5 performances of the week.
Yeah, so start us off. We had a great game on Thursday night between Chaminade Madonna and Miami Central. Jeremiah Smith, number 1 ranked player out of the state of Florida in the 2024 class, showed out for Chaminade in the big-time matchup. It was a great game. Chaminade came out on top 31-28, but Smith led the way on the receiving end with 9 catches for 101 yards and 2 touchdowns. one of the best teams in the country, improved to 5-0, and Smith was a big reason why. And sticking with that game, another really impressive performance on the Chaminade side was Cedric Bailey, a 3-star NC State commit, put up some impressive numbers on Thursday night. He completed 28 of his 41 passes for 321 yards and 4 touchdowns. Him and Smith have been a dynamic duo for Chaminade this year, and you can see why both are going to. And you can really see why both are going to play at the next level.
And then, so you talk about that Chaminade Miami Central game. Anybody from Miami Central stand out at all before we get into your top 3?
Unfortunately, there were no stats for Miami Central from that game. Miami Central, however, is 1-2 on the year, which is kind of surprising to me. However, I do have a couple other games that happened last night, and I can kind of tell you that as well if that works.
Yeah, no, take it away.
All right, so in the kind of the Gainesville area where I'm based out of, Ocala, in the Ocala Vanguard High School and Buchholz High School, both came in undefeated in the game, but Buchholz pulled away with a 30-10 win to move to 5-0. Miles Graham, a 4-star Florida commit, has been tearing it up for the Bobcats this year on both sides of the ball. He's listed as a middle linebacker, but he also leads the team in rushing yards. Coming into the game last night, he had 227 on the ground and 4 touchdowns. And then, I can't not talk about St. Thomas Aquinas. They always have a good team. They handed a talented Treasure Coast team their first loss last night. It was all Aquinas from the start as they won 42-6. Jordan Lyle, 3-star Ohio State commit, has been dominant on the ground this year with 364 yards and 4 touchdowns. Again, and that was not including last night's game. And then lastly, Cocoa High School is another team that has lots of talent. They improved to 3-1 last night. And this is a pass-first offense. Javen Boggs is a 3-star in the 2025 class who had 442 yards and 7 touchdowns through 3 games. And under center, Cocoa has a sophomore running the show in Brady Hart. He's thrown for 1,024 yards and 10 touchdowns, and he's averaging 341 yards per game. Again, these stats don't even include the game from last night.
All right, Bennett. Fantastic. Bennett Solomon, our Florida correspondent out there in Gainesville, keeping it real at what is it, 11:10 over there? We're just waking up. He's been up forever. Bennett, we thank you for being with us here on a Saturday.
Yep, thanks for having me.
All right. Aaron, take it away. We got a couple more segments coming up on the way. First hour of 2 here on Saturday morning.
What's up? This is Ella Wolter-Sanchez with your Scottsdale Sport Report. This week, our story takes us to Arcadia High School, where an interesting movement to create a boys volleyball team is being started. In SUSD, there are no schools that currently offer boys volleyball as a sport to play against other schools in their region. So, sophomore Bennett Murphy found a way around that.
No, it is not an actual sport, but it is a registered club. We will be going against different schools outside of SUSD later in the year through unofficial games.
This is now Bennett's second year leading a boys volleyball club at Arcadia, and the program has grown a great deal since last year. But when there are handfuls of sports for boys to play, why volleyball?
Not many opportunities for boys to play volleyball in most of SUSD, if any. All schools prioritize girls volleyball teams. There are indoor and beach volleyball teams for all girls, and even if a guy tried to join, if they wanted to, they couldn't. They would be rejected. So I figured the best way to include boys would be to create a club.
This is something I feel we don't traditionally see boys in Scottsdale wanting to do, but Bennett and other student leaders were able to sign up over 70 boys, which is a lot considering you need way less than that for a full squad. Despite the fact that yes, there are opportunities in Scottsdale to play volleyball at a club outside of school, they aren't the most convenient.
Most actual clubs are too far from Arcadia for boys to get to, so really the only opportunity they would have to play volleyball would be here at Arcadia.
Although it is still a relatively young program and idea, I feel that it will grow exponentially in the next few years. Currently, there is no way to add boys volleyball to the list of SUSD sports due to certain district rules, but who knows, there might be a change to that in the coming years. But for now, they obviously have plenty of support as a club. This is Ella Wolter-Sanchez with your Scottsdale Sport Report, signing off.
I'm Parker Gurash with the latest from the Varsity Sports Show, and is high school basketball in trouble? With the growing popularity of the transfer portal in college, it slowly trickled its way down to the high school scene. Many top recruits around the country have announced decisions to move from their local high schools to top-tier programs recently. Now, do I think this is a bad thing? Not really, but what I do think is the flair of being looked at as a hometown legend seems to be becoming less and less of a cool thing. Two examples for you recently that have happened are the cases of top 10 recruit Ian Jackson and son of LeBron James, Bryce James. North Carolina commit Ian Jackson has played the last few years at Cardinal Hayes High School in the Bronx, but for this season he announced he'll be moving to Our Savior Lutheran, which is a part of the Overtime Elite League. In Bryce's case with older brother Bronny leaving for USC, he announced he would be leaving Sierra Canyon to go to Campbell Hall. Only a few weeks later, he announced he'd be leaving Campbell Hall for another top program in Notre Dame from Thousand Oaks, California. The emergence of the Overtime Elite League has done its part in affecting this as well. Based in Atlanta, they have poached players from all over the country and either paid them like pro athletes while still in high school or offered them a scholarship so the player can still keep their eligibility for college. You also have the G League Ignite program that has offered high schoolers like this year in Top 30 recruit Dink pay a 2-year contract to play pro basketball instead of going to college. This is a very pivotal time in high school basketball, with the NIL seeming to have very few restrictions. Some of these recruits are getting 6-figure deals at 15, 16, and 17 years old. The day and age of hoping to win a state title for the local high school team seems to be over in many players' cases, and the mindset of becoming the best player you can be is what a lot of kids are striving for instead. I'm Parker Gurash with the latest from the Varsity Sports Show.
Baseball's brightest star, Shohei Ohtani, underwent surgery to repair his torn right UCL. I'm Lucas Metzner with the story. Multiple details have emerged regarding Shohei Ohtani's health and future within baseball. On Tuesday, Ohtani underwent and completed a successful surgery on his throwing arm to repair that torn right UCL. It has been announced that Shohei will return to play by opening day in 2024. However, Shohei will be limited to offense only, primarily as the designated hitter. Although it was said that he will not be able to pitch in 2024, it's exciting to hear he will be able to return as one of the league's best home run hitters and base stealers. It is not until 2025 that Ohtani will be cleared to pitch once again. Shohei Ohtani is also a pending free agent, so earlier in the week when Shohei's locker was cleaned out, it led to a lot of speculations for the fans, as Ohtani's pending free agency could make history this coming offseason. Shohei Ohtani also took to social media to say, "Thank you very much for everyone's prayers and kind words. It was very unfortunate that I couldn't finish out the year on the field, but I will be rooting for the boys until the end. I will work as hard as I can and do my best to come back on the diamond stronger than ever. Go Halos." So with the procedure complete, this offseason will be a historic one to see where Shohei Ohtani chooses to play next. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Lucas Metzner.
Yeah, how about that from Lucas Metzner? We'll see where Ohtani goes. I'm looking at Dorian right now with a Dodgers hat in the middle of this entire Hubbard Radio studio. Dorian, I figure you have an idea of where you want him to go, right?
Well, we're all hoping he goes to the actual real LA team.
We got a packed show ahead of us here on Saturday. Going to interview some coaches all around the valley. We're even going to go up to Nevada and talk to a coach, see what Henderson Coronado is doing out there. That's all in the first hour here on Saturday morning on KDUS AM 1060. The Varsity Show here in hour number 1.
Turn those picks into gold. Wall-to-wall NFL coverage and the biggest stories coming to you from 3 to 5 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show here on KDUS AM 1060 and KDUS1060.com.
I'm Shea Garrett from the Varsity Sports Show. and I am looking forward to immersing myself in high school sports in the Valley. I have a passion for sports and storytelling, and I am so eager for a chance to combine these two this season.
Training Better Athletes was founded by renowned football coach Ron Sowers with the philosophy of training well-rounded young people in mind and body. TBA is the go-to for middle schoolers through the pros. Coach Sowers has worked with all sports but specializes in football offensive and defensive line skills training. Whether it's one-on-one or group training, reach out to Coach Sowers at trainingbetterAthletes.com or call him at 602-435-9064. You can't cheat the grind. Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Check out the Doug Gottlieb Show, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060.
This is the Broncos Football Report with Brophy Broncos head coach Jason Jewell on the Varsity Sports Show, AM 1060 KDUS, Arizona.
Welcome back to Hubbard Radio, the Brophy Broncos Report with head coach Jason Jewell. On the way, Ryan Sikora, joined by our co-hosts here, all Cronkite students. Coach Jewell, can you hear us?
I sure can. How you doing this morning?
We're doing really well. I'm sure you're doing pretty good, too, after what was a pretty good performance last night.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it feels really good to be a school that we consider one of our rivals and in the fashion that we did. So excited about last night.
It seemed like, from reading a lot about it and getting what Richard Obert was talking about, Charlie McGinnis is starting to now finally get statewide recognition as one of the best guys at his position group in the state.
Listen, he's playing very well. He's playing very efficient. He's able to run when he needs to. And most importantly, knock on wood, he's not turning the ball over.
And you guys are a team that last year lost a bunch of close games. We're really right on the cusp of being really good. Now 4-1, it seems like you have maybe flipped the script from last year. You're starting to beat teams. You're getting wins. You're learning how to win. Has that been a big thing for you guys this year, of just learning how to win and then going out there and putting a W on the board?
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, I had a big poster made down in our weight room with the scores of some of those close games from last year, and really emphasizing, like, you can't take a rep off in the weight room, you can't take a rep off on the field, because those small things that you skip, you know, equals, you know, a tight loss. And our kids did a great job this offseason getting after it in the weight room. And you know, and we finish every practice and drill with something where we're finishing, and that's been a huge emphasis in the last year.
Outside of Charlie, Coach Jewell, has there been anybody that's really impressed you through the first half of the season, 5 games in?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the most obvious one right now has been Harrison Chambers and Carlos Estrada before he got hurt. You know, both those kids have played, you know, very well. I think Harry had just under 100 yards last night, 3 touchdowns. So at the running back spot, so done a nice job. You know, and defense as a whole has been really good. And in particular, last night I thought Billy Eastep, who missed all of last year, with a shoulder injury, is back, and he's playing corner for us. And he did a nice job on the Cooper Perry kid from Notre Dame, who's a very talented player.
In terms of what you've got next week with Basha, they might be the best team in the state. They're the defending state champions. How do you get ready for a game like that in terms of, is the week really easy to motivate your kids?
I don't think it's going to be – it's not going to be hard to motivate our kids. It's going to be hard to prepare for Basha because they're super talented, and it's a short week. We play on Thursday. So, you know, we're already prepping, you know, bright and early this morning to get ready for those guys. And they're the defending state champs, and they're super talented, and they're well coached, and it's going to be a tough fight for us.
Early, obviously, day after the first game, do you have any idea in general of what it might take to compete against a Basha team like that led by Chris McDonald?
We really got to try to figure out a way to limit, contain Damon Williams, the quarterback. He runs the show.
We'll open it up to the panel of our guests. We're joined by three of Cronkite's best, Dorian Zavala, Shea, and Lofton Lechner. You guys got any questions for Coach Jewell hanging out with us here today?
Actually, Coach, this is Shea. I had a question about the Basha matchup coming up. Obviously, like Ryan mentioned, I mean, Basha, one of the best teams in the state. So do you feel like your team kind of gets up for a matchup like that? Do you invite that level of competition against such a great opponent?
Yeah, I mean, if we're not excited to play a game against the defending open champs, then we got something wrong. We're not wired right. So, but our kids have energy and juice, all the time. So they're gonna be excited to play this game.
Coach Lofton Lechner here, senior at Cronkite. From your win against Cathedral Catholic to your last night's win versus Notre Dame Prep, your defense hasn't allowed more than 21 points. What have they been doing to sort of limit these other the oppositions from getting those scores?
They fly around and make plays. I think we're very talented on the defensive line, and makes things tough. They're able to stop the run and can get after the quarterback. And we do have a couple Division I kids in the secondary as well. That always helps. You got a kid coming into Yale, and then you have a corner like Creed that's got about 20 offers already. So, I mean, that makes things a whole lot easier. It makes him look like a good coach.
Are you excited to get Logan Powell back next week, Coach?
Oh, man, who wouldn't be excited to have a 6'5", 290-pound monster, become eligible? So, yeah, I'm very excited for Logan.
Is he going to slot in on the left side of your offensive line, or will you shove him pretty much wherever you need him?
I can't give away my tips, guys. Come on. No, I won't find a spot for him. I said when you're 6'5", 290, you bench almost 400 pounds, you can plug him in anywhere.
All right, thank you for joining us here today, Coach Jewell. We appreciate the time after a big win, 42-17. The Broncos have improved to 4-1 on the season. Of course, we were talking about Logan Powell, Saguaro transfer, who's going to arrive. He can't play in the first 5 games. Second half of the season starts next week against Basha. 6'5", 290. That'd be pretty nice to have on the offensive front. He's got Nebraska offers, D1 offers everywhere. It's a Brophy team that has looked really good so far to start this season off. We've been involved as a crew in a lot of good teams. I know Dorian and I have been at Saguaro pretty much night in and night out. Lofton's been over there at Arcadia where they are really, really flying. Of course, Desert Mountain has looked really good. Horizon has gotten a couple of big wins so far this season. We're going to get a chance to talk to plenty of really talented teams and their head coaches. As the day rolls on, we've got Connor Manning up next here on the Varsity Show.
Here is an update on the 2023 Arizona High School Girls Volleyball season. The 2023 AIA Girls Volleyball season is already in full swing. The Xavier College Prep Gators come in ranked number 1 with only a 6-0 record. The Gators have yet to lose a set this year and are rolling. They have a big matchup against 5th-ranked Perry on September 28th. Sandra Day O'Connor's ranked number 2 and are off to a dominant 14-1 start to the year, including an 8-0 record in the House of Pain tournament at the beginning of September. The Eagles began regional play last week with a victory over the Pinnacle Pioneers, but saw their 14-game unbeaten run to start the season end on September 15th in a close battle against the currently 7th-ranked Sunny Slope. The defending 6A state champions Corona del Sol Aztecs round off the top 3 rankings. The Aztecs have a loaded schedule this season, competing in 8 games against current top 25 teams in said Max Preps rankings. The Aztecs are currently 13-3, with losses only to number 1 Xavier, number 2 O'Connor, and number 8 Highland, which took place in the Tournament of Champions. The hill only gets tougher for Corona, with scheduled regional play against Highland twice, number 4 Queen Creek twice, and number 24 Desert Vista twice. Regional play is heating up all across Arizona as all teams pine to get into the state playoffs beginning in early November. From Varsity Sports, I'm Connor Manning.
Hi, I'm Kobe Van Nort from the Varsity Sports Show, and let's dive into the thrilling world of Major League Baseball as we approach the regular season's end. 3 teams have already clinched playoff spots: the Atlanta Braves, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Baltimore Orioles. The Orioles' Cinderella story is captivating as they aim not only to return to the postseason after a 7-year playoff drought, but also secure the top seed in the American League. However, the Tampa Bay Rays are hot on their heels, making the AL East race a must-watch. But the excitement doesn't stop there. Several division and wildcard races remain tightly contested, promising plenty of twists and turns in the coming weeks. Here's the current playoff picture as it stands. In the American League, the number 1 seed is the Baltimore Orioles, followed by the Houston Astros, the Minnesota Twins, the Tampa Bay Rays, the Texas Rangers, and then the Toronto Blue Jays taking that 6th seed. In the National League, the number 1 seed is the Atlanta Braves, followed by the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Milwaukee Brewers, the Philadelphia Phillies, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then tied for the 6th seed, the Chicago Cubs and the Miami Marlins. The AL East rivalry between the Orioles and the Rays is heating up, with the Orioles currently holding on to a 2-game lead. The outcome of this division could determine the number 1 seed in the AL, adding extra intensity to this race. In the AL West, the Houston Astros, Texas Rangers, and Seattle Mariners are locked in a tight 3-way battle. All three have spent time atop the division this season, making it a must-watch division down the stretch. Moreover, the outcome here will significantly influence the AL wildcard race, with the Mariners and Rangers swapping positions in the final slot. Shifting to the National League, the wildcard race takes the spotlight. The Arizona Diamondbacks, Chicago Cubs, and Miami Marlins are eyeing that final wildcard spot. The Cincinnati Reds remain in contention, adding more intrigue to this postseason battle. As the regular season unfolds, baseball fans are in for a thrilling ride with plenty of action, drama, and unexpected turns still to come. This is Kobe Van Nort with the Varsity Sports Show, signing off.
Good morning here, it's Lorenzo Lopez from the Varsity Sports Show, and tonight, Phoenix Rising FC back on the road against El Paso Locomotive. Kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. at the Southwest University Park in El Paso. The last meeting between these two teams goes back to last month, where Phoenix Rising smoked El Paso with a score of 5-0. Danny Trejo with a world-class performance, who had 2 goals and 2 assists that game. Rising currently sits 4th place in the Western Conference standings. They are coming off a 5-0 win against Detroit City FC from the previous weekend, and a 1-1 draw against Indy 11 in the midweek fixtures. El Paso, on the other hand, currently sits 9th in the Western Conference standings, just 1 point off of a playoff spot. So a really good result here against Phoenix Rising will be a huge step in the right direction. On the other hand, if they don't get a good result, it will decide their fate for the rest of the season. With all of that being said, I still believe Rising will win this game 3-1, and it's going to see a brace from Arteaga and a lone goal from Danny Trejo. Again, that is tonight at 6:30 p.m. at the Southwest University Park in El Paso. I am Lorenzo Lopez from the Varsity Sports Show.
Lorenzo Lopez saying Phoenix Rising will keep their winning ways going. They're doing a good job as of late as we bring you back inside the Hubbard Radio Studio. Beautiful backdrop here on a cloudy morning, Saturday, 8:28 local time in Arizona. Ryan Sikora, Lofton Lechner, Shea Garrett, Dorian Zavala here in studio today. All of us Cronkite students and all of us in the internship program here with the Varsity Sports Show this year or last year, and we're going to go around the room before we go to break really quickly. Quick fire. I don't care who starts. What's the end goal with the internship?
For me, it's just to get more experience directing. That's the main reason why I wanted to do this. They gave experience directing, and that's what I want to do.
Yeah, I agree. I want to gain that experience, get to know more people, kind of build those connections, and yeah, just both of those.
Yeah, same as Shea. I just want to make sure I learn everything I can and build upon that.
Everybody trying to get more experience, more real-world opportunity. That's what this is so great for. We offer everybody the opportunity to go out there, get in the industry, get going, learn what's up, as we are about a quarter of the way through our 2-hour show on Saturday morning, KDUS AM 1060. The Varsity Sports Show coming up. We'll go to break, and then we'll come back with the flag football game of the week.
Bringing you the latest sports topics weekly right here on KDUS AM 1060 with me, the Doug Gottlieb Show, 1 to 3 p.m.
I'm Lorenzo Lopez with the Varsity Sports Show, keeping you all informed with sports here around the valley.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. Hey guys, Vince here. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Eric Perry. He owns Eco Roofing Solutions. They're local and a big supporter of high school sports all over Arizona. Yes, they're statewide.
A little bit about me and Eco Roofing Solutions and what we're about. I'm a third-generation roofer here in Arizona, and I've been doing this for 25 years.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you.
Your morning drive just got a little better. The Dan Patrick Show is live weekday morning starting at 6 exclusively on KDUS AM 1060.
You are listening to
the Varsity Sports Show.
The Varsity Sports Show. Thursday night
flag football game of the week recap.
Flag football game of the week recap.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Varsity Sports Show. Shea Gar here alongside fellow co-interns Lofton, Dorian, and Ryan. And it was a dominant victory for the Mohave Thunderbirds high school flag football team on Thursday as they won 42-12 over Agua Fria. And now we have the pleasure of being joined by flag football head coach of the Thunderbirds, Coach Kelly Burgess. Coach, thank you so much for calling into the Varsity Sports Show. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So what kind of stood out to you about that dominant win on Thursday? Like I mentioned, 42-12, just a terrific victory. What kind of stood out to you? What did you enjoy the most about that?
Well, the girls just really worked well together. Our running game didn't do such a great job, but our passing game was great. Our quarterback, Skylar Van Horn, she connected 12 over 23 passes for 181 yards. Turned out good. And interestingly, 9 of those 12 passes were all caught by one player in Jasmine Furr.
Right.
And she had 4 touchdowns.
Sorry. Yeah, so, and speaking of Jasmine Furr, I mean, she's been an absolute star, averaging 100 yards per game, 5 interceptions per game, leads the team in tackles per game, all those stats leading the team. So what can you just say about Jasmine Furr, just how dominant of a player she's been?
She's just an absolutely wonderful young lady, and she really has no clue how good she really is. She doesn't think that she's all that good, but to catch 4 touchdown passes in one game speaks for itself. She does a great job, and she works really hard.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 4 touchdown passes in a game. I mean, absolutely incredible. And, you know, this team started off with 2 losses to begin the year, but 3 straight wins after that. And now the team finds themselves over 500. So, Coach, what has this team learned over the last 3 games that have allowed them to have allowed you guys to kind of make this improvement and turn the season around a little bit?
Well, I tell you, the very first thing they learned was on the first day of practice, and that was what the line of scrimmage was. I had one player in the team who had any knowledge at all about the game of football, but we looked for athletes, and we grabbed athletes from our school. And they had the desire to work. They were excited about playing the game. So they're just spending every day learning more and working hard. And nobody works harder than these group of girls right here.
And in terms of flag football, what's kind of something that you might look for the future when you're kind of trying to get players for the team? Or what are some qualities to be a great flag football player, in your opinion?
Well, for me, number one is I look for good athletes. And our team has an average cumulative GPA of over 3.6. We have 4 4.0 students in the team, and most of the rest have had only 1 B in their whole high school career. But so for me, number one is they have to be intelligent, they have to be smart, and when they get good grades, that means they're willing to work hard too. So if they're willing to work hard and then they can move on the field, that's just a combination for success.
Yeah, I love that. So, Coach, I just wanted to take a moment to open up the floor to my fellow co-interns here if they wanted to ask anything.
Sure.
Yeah, Coach Lofton Leichner here, senior at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. So I've been looking at your your girls' stats, and I've noticed that your defensive line seems really impressive. They've got 19 sacks on the season so far. Can you talk about that unit and what they've been doing so well this season?
It's really interesting to see them do what they do, because the thing that they do well is they work together. I call them they're like a pack of wolves. They don't work by themselves. They work together. They've figured out a way to work in tandem to be able to accomplish what they need to do, and we get quite a few sacks every game.
Coach Ryan Sikora, a junior here at the Cronkite School, I wanted to ask more so about just kind of the general coaching side of it. Is there a certain trick to scheming up or drawing up plays that kind of has worked for you guys so far, or that you've seen other teams have a lot of success for this season?
I don't necessarily think so. I think for me, it was a brand new thing for me as well. The flag football team, this is new for the whole state. But I did rework our play system, and it's more basic now, rather than complicated, giving everybody difficult assignments. It's just try to keep it simple, and just try to play a game that they can see and they can think on their feet, rather than having to worry about whether they're doing their own function. They're more focused now on how do we work as a team as we do our own responsibility.
Coach Kelly Burgess of the Mohave High flag football team. Coach, thank you for being with us here early on a Saturday morning.
Great. Thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate being here.
Yes, sir. All right, everybody. We were supposed to talk with Mountain View's head coach, Joe Germaine. We're trying to get a hold of him. It's early in the morning. They've got workouts. We're figuring it all out. So Dorian and I were at that game last night. Dorian was trying his hand at the directorial thing. I was on the call. That was a big 30-22 win for Mountain View. They looked really good, Dorian.
Oh, most definitely they did. And they have a lot of their team, a lot of their players are leading stats in their conference. So it was a really good football game. They looked really, really well. It was kind of a difficult first half, but you can tell the defense just really lit up in the second half and was able to put their mark on the game. Really, really impressive win.
Yeah, and they had to play a really tough Desert Ridge team who fell to 1-4 on the season, but it was a really good running game for Desert Ridge that kept Mountain View kind of at bay, and then they made a couple of big plays in the second half. Hodden Marks, their big-time receiver, made a nice, huge catch, and it's Joe's kid who is the quarterback, Jack Germaine there. He was slinging the ball around there in those second and third quarters. A little bit slow in the first quarter. They ran the ball a lot, didn't play a lot in the fourth, but middle of the game, he was really good, really impressive.
Oh, yeah, he opened up the field a lot, got a lot of those, advanced the offense a lot more than what was happening in the first half. So he was really, really impressive in the second half, and especially in that third quarter.
As they were led by their running back, Isaac Jean-Pierre, who had over 100 yards on the ground, had over 20 carries. It's got to be nice for Coach Germaine to have a bell cow back like that, someone who can just kind of carry the load and make it easier for your quarterback.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. When you know you've got that workhorse back there, you can count on him a lot more. And hopefully, like he played yesterday, he was able to hold the ball, no fumbles. Although there were a couple fumbles in the game, he did really well, ran the ball well, and it's good to have a workhorse back there that you can be very confident in.
Yeah, they moved to 3-2 on the season, so they've already won more games in 2023 than they won in all of 2022 after a 2-8 season a year ago. That's where Dorian and I were on Friday night. Lofton, I know you were at Arcadia. Shea, you were at Horizon versus Millennium. So we'll go to you first, Shea. Horizon, they kind of put it on a Millennium team on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. They came out aggressively, and it was honestly, it was honestly a really good complete effort. They showed out defensively, offensively, and it got to the point where in the second half, Millennium kind of understood that they couldn't really catch up to Horizon, so they were kind of running the ball a lot. So just a terrific all-around victory for the Huskies.
Yeah, and over at Arcadia, they were at Camelback in a game between two teams very close in proximity, very chippy all night long. There was a lot of flags. It was a long game. But Arcadia ended up coming away with the win in the end to improve to 5-0.
For Arcadia, we talk about it. We look at that team. We'll get into that a little bit later. I think Joe Germaine is finally with us. Coach Germaine, did you get on?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Sorry for being late.
No, it's all good. How are you this morning, Coach Germaine?
I'm fine. Thank you.
That was a big win for you guys last night. You moved to 3-2. We were talking about it before you got on. That's more wins this year than you had all of last year. It seems like this team has taken a big step. Last year you played a pretty tough schedule, but now it looks like you guys have learned how to really win football games.
It was a good win for us last night. We had a couple losses to a couple of really talented teams in Saguaro and Basha. I think our kids, they play hard and have fought hard in those games, but just too inconsistent to, get a victory against good teams like that. Last night, I thought Desert Ridge played extremely tough and hard, and that's always been my experience of coaching and playing against a Desert Ridge team. But really, really happy with the grit and the toughness that our players showed to pull out a win.
And your running back, Isaac Jean-Pierre, he has sort of kind of carried the load for you guys this season. How nice is it to have somebody who can really be fantastic like that on the ground?
Yeah, Isaac's done a really good job for us. He's once he gets going, he's tough to tackle. He's a tough physical runner once he kind of gets rolling. So we need him to step up big, and he's a senior for us and has worked really hard to get to this point.
Coach Dorn Zavala here, senior at Cronkite. So your next game will be against Westwood. What will you do to prepare for them coming up on Friday?
Well, it's a little early in the process. We just went through the process of exchanging film, and we haven't really had a chance to look at them. I do think it's great that we're keeping these historical rivalry games together. I know back when I was at Mountain View, the Mountain View versus Westwood, the Mountain View versus Mesa High. I mean, those were the biggest games of the year. So it's great to kind of keep that tradition going. So we have a lot of respect for the rivalry, and I know Coach Large over there is a very creative, innovative coach, and I know he's going to have them ready to play. So we'll need a good week and need to improve.
All right, Coach Germaine, thank you for joining us here on Saturday morning. Coach Joe Germaine of the Mountain View Toro football team, 3-2 on the season.
Thanks, guys.
And now we're going to Las Vegas. How about Henderson, Nevada, Coronado High School? Shawn Dupris, their head coach, after a big win over Vegas Shadow Ridge, joins us here on Saturday morning. Coach Dupris, can you hear us?
I can. Good morning.
Awesome. Nice to meet you finally here over the radios. The four of us here in the studio, were not over in Las Vegas yesterday, but Vince DeLisio was up there. That was a pretty big result for you guys against Shadow Ridge to get to 2-3 on the year.
Yeah, it was a big game for us. We've been looking all year long to put a complete game together on both sides of the ball and the special teams. And, we've had played the last couple of weeks, really good opponents in Liberty High School and Arborview, and we're looking forward to playing this game on a highly ranked team, and boys played really well.
And you look at the schedule, 2-3, but you guys have played a lot of really solid teams up there so far. And your district, your region, that sort of area, your schedule you've put together, really, really tough, challenging schedule.
Yeah, with the change of divisions that Nevada went through this year, we're in the top division and playing quality opponents. Really, really good programs that have been traditionally pretty good over the last decade on the West Coast, and I'm happy to play in that division. We're happy to be there and to play that level of competition. And we opened the season with a rain out, a storm out, a monsoon out, whatever you want to call it. And that was disappointing. Then we went to Utah and played a really good East High School team. And the boys have responded. It's new head coach there this year, and a lot of new things and a lot of new coaches, and boys are coming around and getting excited about playing football, and we're really happy to be getting a stride here.
Talk about one of the standout guys from last night, Ryan Harden. I believe what I've been told from our boots on the ground correspondents in Las Vegas, all-time school leading tackler now. How's that to have a guy out there who can just do all sorts of everything on the defensive side?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Ryan is a heck of a football player, hard-nosed kid, kind of linebacker that everybody loves to have, a real tough kid and fills gaps and fills holes and runs and plays well. And it's nice to see, and a great young man. It's nice to see him get the all-time school record. I didn't realize that he was that close to it, and it was really nice to see him play hard and against a team that they run the triple option, and you don't see that a whole lot. How to prepare for and our defense did an outstanding job. Our coaching staff did an outstanding job of preparing the boys for it this week.
All right, Coach, we thank you for being with us. Thank you for being flexible here on Saturday. We appreciate your time here this morning as your team improves to 2-3 with a big win on Friday.
I appreciate it. Hope to see you guys back in Vegas and doing some more games. Really appreciate you guys. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. Maybe we'll have to make a trip out there. Maybe the four of us will head out there. I don't know if Vince would let that happen. Palo Verde High School up next for Coronado out of Henderson. They end the season with Bishop Gorman. How about that? Number 2 team in the country. That's a tough schedule. We are 45 minutes in here on Saturday morning. Whole lot of show still to come on KDUS AM 1060, the Varsity Sports Show, every Saturday, 8 to 10.
Hey, Phoenix, Doug Gottlieb here. I'm bringing the best sports talk weekdays to you, 1 to 3 p.m., right here on KDUS AM 1060.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm Ryan Sikora. I'm going to be one of the interns this fall at the Varsity Sports Show. So happy to be with you guys this year. I've loved sports for as long as I can remember, and I cannot wait to be with you guys on Thursday, Friday, and even some Saturdays all this year.
Hey, local businesses, join the Varsity Sports Show and promote your business on our weekly radio show and game live streams. We have several options to promote your business affordably and reach our incredible audience. Call, text, or email us anytime if you'd like more information on joining our team. The Varsity Sports Show will work hard to promote your business through our audio and video platforms while also promoting all of our young people. 480-779-9437 or email us at varsitysportshow.com. When you think of family restaurants and sports bars, think Bonfire. Bonfire is part of the Tempe landscape, supporting local schools. Join the Bonfire Booster Club Challenge. Mention Corona del Sol, Desert Vista, Marcos de Niza, Mountain Point, or Valley Christian, and that school's sports program will earn loyalty points. The winner after football season will earn a fundraiser at Bonfire. Come for the food and fun, support the community. Bonfire, open every day east of I-10 on Warner. Show your game ticket all day Friday and Saturday and get 15% off. 480-306-6801.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m.
This is just something I like to call breakfast.
With big name guests, timely sports information, and more on KDUS AM 1060.
It's the JUCO Report on AM 1060 KDUS Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show. News and notes from the Hohokam Junior College Athletic Conference.
As we welcome you back inside the Hubbard Radio Studio. End of the first hour here on the Varsity Sports Show. Ryan Sikora, Dorian Zavala, Shea, Lofton Lechner, the four in studio. Vince, once again, up in Vegas, driving back. He is not going to be with us here today, but he will get a chance to call some HJCAC football here this afternoon as we bring in the Papago Pumas head coach, William Strother. Coach Strother, how are you? Ooh, he didn't hear me. Coach Strother, are you there?
I'm here. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Early morning.
Okay, and it is an early morning. You guys have sort of just gotten to the start of the season. How's that been for you guys so far?
Well, today's game one, and we're just ready to get going, and just be able to line up and get some other guys instead of our own guys.
Has that been sort of something that your guys are really ready to go out and do? Go play another team and not just face off against their teammates at practice?
Yeah, I mean, they've been itching for weeks. We've got to be able to protect our guys because, have guys ready for games. And, they just want to go out there and show what they can do so that they can get the opportunity, to get film for coaches at the next level. And right now, just practicing against each other, is one thing. But, going up against real competition and making real film, that's what our guys are itching for.
Coach Lofton Lechner here, senior at the Cronkite School of Journalism. So with this being week one, game one, if we were to come out today, who should we be looking for from the Papago Pumas? Who should we be watching out for?
Well, I got quite a few you should be watching out for. I've got returner Corey Floyd Jr. I've got returner in Teddy Harris, Shawn Hunter. got a great offensive lineman, Amari Simmons. He's going to be number 75. Kids got a plethora of colleges looking at him right now. He's just coming in to, get some things squared away, make sure that he gets his name out there again. And then also returner Gabriel Reeves. Gabriel Reeves is just a physical defensive end that, believe that he can play at the higher level. Just wanted to get a little bit more weight on him, make sure he graduates. And last but not least, my quarterback. My quarterback is Zamir. He comes from San Antonio, Texas. I tell him he reminds me of a little Kyler Murray. Got the same height, but got zip. He's got elusiveness like him. So pretty excited about the team we got put together today.
Coach, Dorian Zavala here from the Cronkite School of Journalism. As a former linebacker back in my day, I know going into the game, like waiting a week or so before kickoff, it was really anxious. You got to find ways to keep yourself locked in. What are some of the ways you helped out your team to stay locked in for as long as this was?
Well, it was just building team chemistry. Doing certain things with the team. We had periods in practice where guys had to do wheelbarrow drills or carry each other on the back, or we had puzzle solving, just something to make sure that guys are working together and building as a team, because it could get a little boring, just going through the same routine every day of practice hit. Got to find some way to keep these guys engaged, to know one another, to want to build with one another until game day, until we can finally line up against somebody.
Yeah, most definitely. I remember the thing that they would make us do the most is hitting drills. So how many hitting drills did you put a week on your guys?
Well, we put quite a bit on them, because, you got to get your body ready to take on that physical contact. And, if you don't know, basic, can't feel what the contact's going to be, or, you just don't have tackling techniques down right, it's actually going to carry over into the game. So we hit 3 out of 5 days a week.
Coach Strother, we appreciate your time here this morning. First game is coming up for the Papago Pumas here, and we appreciate, again, your time here on Saturday morning.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a great day.
That was Coach William Strother of the Papago Pumas here. We are closing in on the halfway mark of Saturday morning. The Varsity Sports Show, KDUS, AM 1060. Aaron, take it away.
I'm Shea Garrett with the Varsity Sports Show. Fantasy sports have become incredibly popular, especially in the past few years with the rise of sports betting. The NFL season is in full swing too, and that means that fantasy football is back. This brings passion to the game, giving fans a more significant reason to watch and support the teams. But that being said, sometimes the passion gets taken a little too far. Putting money into the pot adds to the stakes, especially when the buy-in is higher. But the financial incentives aren't what's concerning. It's the physical bets that take many by surprise. Many families and friend groups make deals that call for their losing team of the leagues to do something rather outrageous. A common punishment for last place finish? Sitting in Waffle House for 24 hours, but for every waffle you eat is 1 hour taken off of your time. One league went so far as to forcing the league's loser to take the ACT test alongside high schoolers on a Saturday morning. It doesn't matter if you graduated from high school 20 years ago, you have to pay the price for finishing at the bottom of the standings. A more permanent one may include shaving your head or getting a tattoo of the winning team member's name. Though the NFL season is young, the stakes may never been higher. You have to give it to the competitors. They have to be pretty confident in winning, or at least not finishing dead last, if they agree to get their friend's name tattooed on them. And the creativity. Only the NFL could showcase and bring out the world's most imaginative and ambitious people. I'm so glad that football is back to bring us together. Or, depending on how your fantasy season shakes out, tear us apart. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Shea Garrett.
I'm Stephen Buxton with the Varsity Sports Show, and today we're talking about the Dodgers. After clinching their 10th division title in 11 years, the Dodgers have one major question. It's their pitching staff. Throughout the year, their rotation's been torn to shreds. Kershaw's missed time. Dustin May and Tony Gonsolin are both out for the year after having elbow surgery. Walker Buehler's not coming back. Noah Syndergaard was a disaster. And worst of all, the Julio Urias situation, and he might never step on a big league mound ever again. The Dodgers are going to have to rely on some combination of Kershaw, rookies Bobby Miller, Emmett Sheehan, and Ryan Pepio, along with Lance Lynn and Ryan Yarbrough. The only difference is this year, their bullpen's one of the best in the league. They've been relying on it more than ever. It's headlined by Brusdar Graterol, Evan Phillips, and Ryan Brazier, who's turned his season around since joining LA. We'll have to see how they use it going into October, whether they lean on one guy, all three, or the whole staff. But one thing's for sure, nobody feels sorry for this team, and excuses don't matter in the playoffs. We'll just have to wait to see how they get it done.
I'm Tanya Tortorella of Varsity Sports, and today marks the first day of fall. And what a 2023 summer it was. So many events, moments happened that sometimes I can get lost in the shuffle. So I wanted to take this time, review the crazy summer that 2023 had to offer. It started off hot on June 24th as the Suns traded for Bradley Beal. On July 4th, Joey Chestnut won his 16th title in hot dog eating. On July 10th, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. won the home run derby, joining his father as a fellow derby winner. July 16th, on the same day as Mexico winning the Gold Cup, Lionel Messi signed with Inter Miami. July 20th, Josh Harris led a group to buy the Washington Commanders. And on July 21st, Slam Ball returned to ESPN. August 4th, ASU, Utah, and Arizona announced they were going to move to the Big 12 next season. August 16th, the New York Liberty beat the Las Vegas Aces in the Commissioner's Cup final, which could be a preview for the WNBA finals to come up in a couple weeks. On August 22nd, the Ravens' 24-game preseason winning streak was slain, a streak that started 7 years ago in 2016. And on August 30th, Nebraska women's volleyball set a world record for highest attendance for a women's sporting event at 91,648. On September 9th, Coco Gauff won her first U.S. Open at only 19 years old. On September 10th, U.S. World Cup team loses to Canada and doesn't even place in the top three, doesn't place a medal. But a day later, Germany wins their first FIBA World Cup ever. You think after all those surprises, we would be done. But we had one more before the beginning of fall, and that is Travis Kelce might be dating Taylor Swift. I mean, guys, what's bigger than that? Obviously joking, but I'm excited to see what happens this fall. And if you guys feel like I missed anything, join the conversation on Twitter, tweeting at Varsity Sports what you thought was the craziest moment this summer. I've been Tanner Tortorella with Varsity Sports, signing off.
As we welcome you back inside the radio studio, that was Tanner Tortorella with his little summer recap as we come back in. What'd you guys do this summer? Nobody? Nobody did anything? That's kind of boring.
Went home to California. Went home to California.
All the rain. All the rain in summer in California. Shy?
Yeah, I just I had a little internship, little professional program at Cronkite, and just taking a few classes, so kind of buried in schoolwork.
I was just working on that grind, you know.
I slept. I took a nice long nap every single day of the entire summer because we were going to be busy, and we are busy for the rest of this last hour on the way here on KDUS AM 1060.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Broadcasting from the Superbook Sports Studios, KDUS AM 1060 Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.
Hey folks, I'm Joel R. Lambright with the Varsity Sports Show.
updating you about high school and college sports in Arizona and East Texas. You can find me on X at JoelRL News.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe, with an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat.
What's going on, guys? My name is Tortorella. I'm a senior at ASU at the Cronkite School. I'm super excited to be part of Varsity Sports, bringing you all the knowledge that I've learned over the years, covering baseball, softball, football, any sport you can think of, and I'm excited to bring that knowledge to you, the listener.
Thank you so much, Tanner.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
This program is paid for by the Varsity Media Foundation, a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization, and its partners.
You're listening to the Varsity Sports Show, home of Arizona's youth, high school, college sports, and you, empowering education and enabling dreams, right here on KDUS AM 1060 in Arizona. And now, welcome to the Varsity Sports Show.
Is that what this is? The Varsity Sports Show? 9 o'clock, 9:01 local time. We are trying to get a hold of Andy Litton. We'll see if he shows up. If he doesn't, we have Shea here, who was there last night anyway, and can pretty much tell us every single snap of what happened, right, Shea? You can tell me everything.
Okay, so I'll start from the very first snap. No, so, yeah, the Huskies, I mean, they just dominated Millennium, 43-13, and it was wire to wire. Right from the get-go, the Huskies, they ran the ball ferociously, passed it. They really do a good job of mixing their passing game and rushing game. They average over 200 yards per game on the ground, and they actually kind of have two different QBs that can rush and pass. So it was just a dominant victory, and Millennium couldn't really get anything going offensively thanks to the Huskies' defense.
What's been the standout so far for Horizon? A really good team the last couple of years under Andy Litton. What has been the big calling card for them? Offense, defense, running game, passing game, you name it.
I think this year it's a little bit of both because they're scoring a ton of points, and they've already shut out two teams, and they're not allowing a lot of points. But if I had to pick a standout player among many, I would pick Bodie Zamorano, who's their sophomore running back, who's averaging over 115 yards per game, over half of their rushing total. But really, it is a great overall team effort on both ends of the football, and special teams as well.
And Zamorano was a guy who was getting playing time last year for them on the varsity level. So now it feels like it is a step up for him, almost as he is sort of the leader of this offense in some ways, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I would say it's a breakout season, and the fact that he's only a sophomore, I mean, I can only imagine what he's going to do the next couple of years. So yeah, great. I mean, he's been a standout, and then they have two QBs. They've both been great, and the team they have this energy about them. Last night and in all their games, they've played great.
I mean, when you look at this team and what's coming up for them, they play Horizon in one of, if not the toughest division in the state. It's a 5A. It's certainly the toughest division in 5A. So much tough competition on the way, so much tough competition they've already played. What's the expectation for them the rest of the year in your mind?
I think they can contend to be the best team in their division by the way they've played because they're dominating the teams that they should probably beat. So I think when the competition might get a little bit more difficult, I think just by the way they've played, I expect them to be a contender.
Only lost this season a 27-7 defeat to 6A Pinnacle. They have Desert Mountain on the road next week. That's a big rivalry game. And then Notre Dame after that, then Higley after that, then a good Cactus Shadows team after that, and then a good ALA Gilbert North team after that. ALA Gilbert North won 4A last year. Cactus Shadows should be a 5A playoff team. Higley will definitely be a 5A playoff team, could be an open team. Notre Dame will be a 5A playoff team. And Desert Mountain could be an open team. So that's the rest of their region. There's a world where Horizon could go 5-0. And there's a world where Horizon can go 0-5 in their region. The reality is it's probably lying somewhere in between, but that's just how tight that region is, the 5A Northeast Valley.
Yeah, I think you could argue their toughest test is in front of them. I mean, Desert Mountain always puts out a really good team most years, and it's Notre Dame and just these matchups coming up, we're really going to see what the Huskies are made of. So you're right, Ryan. I mean, they could go 5-0 and then we'll see, but it's going to be a tough test, but it'll show us, I think, what the Huskies are made of.
And the big deal is if they can get going on the defensive side and keep teams low scoring, because that is clearly where they are better in games, is when they can hold the opponents to lower numbers and they can kind of play their style of football, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Their defense, it seems like they blitz almost every time, but it seems like when the opposing offense, they run the ball or they snap a play, it seems like the defense is right there at the start of the play. So that aggressive defense and just the team overall looks great, high energy, great. I mean, very aggressive, like I just said. So I think they look really good right now, and they have a promising road ahead.
Dorian, Lofton, you got any questions?
In your opinion, how far do you think they'll go?
I think they're going to do well. I think I'm gonna say 4-1 the rest of the way. I'm confident in the Huskies. I think it's going to be tough with this level of competition to run the table from here on out. But I think the Huskies, because they're 4-1 already, they've had convincing victories. We might see some closer games, but I think this is a really good team, and I think I'm going to say 4-1.
4-1.
I'm going to be optimistic.
Quick question: Who do you think are the standouts in one standout in offense, one standout in defense?
Yeah, so Bodie Zamorano was the standout on offense, and oh man, their defense, they have a lot of players that kind of have a few sacks, 1 or 2 interceptions, so it's hard to kind of just shout out one player, but they just have so many and they do a really good job of substituting in and out on plays depending on the type of play. So I think overall there's just too many standouts to name.
All right, we're a little ahead of schedule. No Andy Litton this morning, so we will move our attention to Arcadia, where Lofton is sort of our expert in the field. Lofton?
Yeah, Arcadia is coming off a 5-0, or they're starting the season 5-0, coming off a 35-21 win over Camelback last night, and we are here. We're about to be joined by Jeff Alba of Arcadia football.
Hey guys, good morning.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you doing today after that win last night?
We're doing great. 5-0. The train keeps rolling, so we're pretty happy with the win. It was a big game for us last night, kind of a rivalry game that everyone kind of had circled on the calendar, and we're happy to go over to Camelback and get the win.
Yeah, let's talk about that rivalry a little bit, because when we were in the stands, we were hearing about how they had beat you guys last year at your guys' homecoming game. So was this kind of a little bit of revenge last year for having your Arcadia's homecoming spoiled?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it revenge. I think it was just one of those games. Camelback's 5A, we're 4A. We're obviously having a really good season, and this was a really good test for us playing, somebody in a higher division. And as you probably know, there's a few former players from Arcadia that are now in Camelback, including their quarterback, Rocco Mortensen, who, by the way, I can't say enough about that kid. He's such a great kid, and he had some phenomenal plays and throws last night. And we were fortunate to come out with the win, though.
Yeah, let's talk about last night. Last night really felt like the battle of the big plays. Brady forced for Arcadia. He had 3 touchdowns. One was a 68-yard receiving. One was an 80-yard rushing. And on the other side, Camelback, they had that 85-yard passing touchdown. So can you describe that a little bit? Describe the big play factor of last night and how that rivalry kind of impacted that.
Definitely. The first half was super exciting. Both teams came out in the first half and threw some big haymakers, to start the game. There's a ton of action in that first half. Camelback, again, hit that 80-yard slant for their first touchdown, and then we came back with a big-time catch and run from Jeremy Smith, a 75-yard catch, and then he outran, 2 or 3 defenders and cut back across the field. They basically had 5 guys pin him over on the sidelines, and he cut back across to get the score. And then, of course, Brady Forrest, comes in and takes over and does what he does. And, had a 60-yard screen pass for a touchdown, then another 80-yard run, and one of his best games in my mind. So, our offense just continues to carry us, as well. But, we were real excited about that first half.
Yeah, and let's talk about the defense a little bit, because the defense so far, they've been holding teams, but the stats really haven't been there. But last night, Logan Connolly, 2 picks, Carter Pruitt with 1, and your defensive line was getting really good pressure home. What can you say about the defense last night?
Yeah, happy for Logan. He's been working hard back there at safety, and he had a couple picks last night, and Carter had 1. And then, we've got a couple guys that I want to mention, too, that are playing both ways. Kari Beeler as well as James McCormick. and sometimes it goes unnoticed, but these guys are grinding it out every game. And last night in particular, playing both sides of the ball, offensive line and defensive line, and making plays all over the field. So want to give those guys some credit as well. But yeah, like I said last week, when our defense plays solid, and our offense has been averaging, I think, around 35 points a game now, we're going to be tough to beat moving forward.
Yeah, so let's look ahead now to your guys' next matchup. You guys will be going back home versus Desert Sunrise. What do you guys see for that matchup?
Well, again, we're just trying to take it 1 week at a time. I think that, we're at the midway point now at 5 games, 5-0. And that Camelback game was a little emotional. So it's, kind of back to the drawing board for the second half of the season. And, again, want to give a shout-out to our coaching staff. Ray Brown and his staff do just an absolutely amazing job of planning and preparation, and also how they interact with the kids, during the week and during the game. There's something special about this team. There's a lot of character, and, that all starts with the coaching staff. So shout out to them. But the coaching staff, they'll have them ready. I mean, these guys are focused. We have our eyes on the prize here, and we'll be ready to go.
Hey, Coach, this is Shea, senior at Cronkite. I just had a quick question about kind of how you feel like, or what do you feel like is the biggest reason your team has been able to start off 5-0? What's a big reason why you think this team has been off to such a dominant start overall?
Well, it starts with talent, right? I mean, we have a ton of talent. We have 23 seniors on the team this year, and they all are providing a ton of great leadership, and they're also making plays. We've got great kids on the team. We've got kids with great character. Everyone's bought in, and they look out for each other, and they take care of each other, and we're on a roll. So once you start kind of believing that, and then you start winning, it kind of just builds on itself, and we've got something really special over here at Arcadia right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
With Coach Brown, Jeff, it seems like this has kind of been a big jump. You guys have been right around 500 the last couple of years. Has it something that you've watched on and felt it's been building to this sort of thing, this big 5-0 start?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've been around the program a while now, and I've been here when Coach Brown came over, and he's built this program. There's no doubt about it. Last year, we ended up 6-5, and a few of those games could have gone either way. So we could have maybe won a few more there, and maybe won a couple games in the playoffs, but. We had plenty to build on, and but there's no doubt about it. The culture that Coach Brown has instilled in the team is paying dividends in his third year, and we feel really good about the state of the program, not only on varsity but also JV and the freshman teams.
You look at this schedule. Every game is big when you're 5-0 and trying to stay unbeaten, stay 1-0 every week. Is there one game for you that you look on from an outward perspective and try and circle as like, hey, that's the big one the rest of the way?
It's you never really want to talk about that, right? You want to just focus on the next game in front of you, which this week is coming up. So we're not doing that. There's some tough teams still on the schedule. I will say that. I mean, we're keeping an eye on some of these other teams and some of these other scores, and things are starting to shape up in the 4A division. I believe right now we're ranked number 4 AZ Central, and maybe number 5 on Max Preps, and that could maybe bump up a little bit. But it starts to get a little crowded there at the top, and everybody's winning. But yeah, we've got some tough games on the schedule still, so we can't let up any week in particular. But yeah, it'll be a fun rest of the season.
Jeff, Dorian Zavala here from Cronkite. One question for you: there's usually a game that every team circles on the calendar. Which one would you say was the one you guys circled on your calendar?
I mean, I don't really like to answer that question because they're all important. But if I were to answer it, I'd probably say Camelback. The game last night, just for the other reasons I mentioned at the beginning of the call. Somewhat of a rivalry game. They had some of the former players from Arcadia over there, and everyone has been kind of talking about that game since last year. So I would say that one was the one that was circled. And we were, like I said, we're happy to come out of that last night with a win and go 5-0.
All right, thank you, Jeff. That was Jeff Alba of Arcadia Football. We are now about an hour and 15 minutes through the show here on the Varsity Sports Show. We will be, guys, do you guys have anything else to say? Arcadia is 5-0 and looking good.
No, I don't think so. I think Jeff, I appreciate Jeff being flexible with us. That was a long stretch for Jeff, so we appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, stay with us here on the Varsity Sports Show. We will be going to break, and we will be right back.
KDUS AM 1060 is the home to the Dan Patrick Show, the Doug Gottlieb Show, and Sports Map Radio. Catch all the sports content here on AM 1060.
This is Conrad Hamilton, head football coach at Desert Mountain High School. You are listening to the Varsity Sports Show.
Coaches, the Varsity Sports Show wants to be part of your team in 2023. We have a proven track record of providing the most coverage of your teams with Thursday and Friday night football. We will spotlight your players with multi-camera game broadcasts, pre- and post-game interviews, and segments on our Saturday morning radio show. With over 100 games broadcast in 2022, we will be exceptional for your team. Call, text, or email 480-220-4629 or info@varsitysportshow.com. Hey guys, Vince here to talk about Angel Dentistry. It's where my wife and I have gone for over 10 years, and we trust them with our routine and extensive dental care because they care. Dr. Amber Angel is an Arizona native, born in the town of Miami, and has been practicing in the Valley over 20 years. For general to comprehensive dental services, call 602-788-2008. Located off of Cave Creek Road just north of the 101 in North Phoenix. Angel Dentistry, proud supporters of our young people and proud partners of the Varsity Sports Show.
Catch the Doug Gottlieb Show weekdays from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and online at KDUS1060.com.
Nobody pray for me. It been a day for me.
Welcome to the Wolves Recap with Desert Mountain football coach Conrad Hamilton.
All right, we are back here on the Varsity Sports Show, joined by Desert Mountain coach Conrad Hamilton. Coach, can you hear us all right?
What's that? You cut out there. I couldn't hear you.
All right, we are here with Coach Conrad. Coach Conrad, can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yep.
All right, perfect. So you guys are now 5-0 for a second straight season, coming off a 31-12 win versus Camp Verde. Coach, what has contributed to another very successful start?
A variety of things. I think number one, whatever we have, a lot of returning players. This year within our program, I think we returned 16 starters from last season. A lot of those starters that are playing for us right now, whatever, are actually 3-year starters, guys that are a part of our Powerhouse 2024 class of kids. So I think that's contributed to it a little bit. And then, I think our guys are hungry. They've got some taste of success over the last 3 years or so. And, we made it to the semifinals the last couple of years. And I think, they're itching to improve and get a chance, an opportunity to fulfill what they want as a goal, and that's to play in the state championship and have an opportunity to hoist a trophy at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. And yet, Coach, last night in that 19-point victory, who were the guys that were standing out to you? Who led you to that win? I'll have to watch the film a little bit more here. Offensively, things that stuck out to me would be, Dylan Tapley caught the ball again. He's a big play threat for us, on the outside. So I think he's always going to be consistent with what he's been doing from an offensive standpoint. He's 6'4", he's long, he tracks the ball well. He's a tough one-on-one matchup for most people on any given Friday night. But we had some guys that filled in for us. Cole Tappan, played it both ways last night. Played, some defense more than he normally would play. Colton Muntz. Played some center because of that last night. Was playing a couple other positions on the offensive line as a senior, as a 3-year starter as well. Does a great job for us, so we're proud of that. And then Cameron Terry, a kid who came in, works his tail off as a scout team player every week. Does a great job in pass pro during our blitz period. Works his tail off in the weight room. He's probably one of our stronger kids, and had a good night last night, filling in late for Max Sheffer because he went down with a little bit of an injury. And then overall, on defense, Elijah Mears just stuck out to me. He forced a fumble last night, that, maybe saved a scoring drive against us. And then he also picked off a pass, the second play of the first defense of the series, to set up another score for us around the 10-yard line. Our secondary is playing really well. It's tough to throw the ball on us a little bit. We didn't play well in the run game last night, so we definitely had to go back to work and fix that. But that's kind of those are the things that kind of stuck out to me. And I'll look at it, probably watch the film. I usually watch the film probably 15 or 20 times before I can actually move on to the next opponent. So I'm sure
things will stick out to me more as the weekend goes on. But that's really what flashed to me so far in the 2 or 3 times that I've looked at it.
Yeah, and I know you haven't watched the film yet, so you might not have the perfect answer yet for me, but next week, top 25 matchup versus a rival in Horizon. How are you getting your team prepared for what is going to be a huge, huge game?
Yeah, number one, we got to improve, all right, from last week. So that's here. We're in the weight room right now. Then we'll go in the film session here in another hour from now. And, really, get things that corrected, right, that we need to improve on, right? I think this is really the most important day of the week, just so guys can sit there and everybody knows when they did something well, right? They can see that we're going to pat them on their tail. But mostly to improve, you have to be willing to point the finger back at yourself and look at the film, all right, and say, hey, these are the things that coach is telling me that I have to improve on. These are the things that maybe we didn't do right. All right, now we need to get better at. And then we'll look at Horizon. I know, they're a big team, okay, right? So, we're going to have to be able to match their physicality from that standpoint and just give our best effort. I think if you're hungry and you play hard and you have a focus and you're process-driven, I think, a lot of the times you're going to come out on a winning stick. But we know we have a challenge because it's our section. Our next goal is to win the section championship, and it starts with Horizon here at home next Friday.
And when you look at that section, you guys are 5-0 out of the start. It's Horizon, it's Cactus Shadows. Gilbert North won 4A last year. Higley and Notre Dame are in there, too. They're 2 really good football teams. It seems like if you go anywhere from really 4-1 to 5-0 out of that, you're looking certainly in the open conversation and probably an open 8 team. Is that really the end goal with this group this year, is to be in that open playoff?
For us, whatever. We just want to play our best and reach our full potential as a program. If our full potential says, we're an open team, then that's what we'll have to do. If our full potential says, we're going to be put into the round-robin 16-team 5A playoffs, and that's what we'll do. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. I watch the games. I see the 6A teams. I don't think any 5A team, in my opinion, can actually compete and actually have a chance to truly win a championship, in the open, to win 3 games consistently. We have 90-something players in our program. We'd be playing a Liberty or Highland has 220-plus kids in our program. To me, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think it's fair. Can we compete with guys or, Higley, Desert Edge, Notre Dame, Desert Mountain, the top 4 or 5 teams, Horizon, in 5A? Can they compete in and maybe knock off a team here and there in 6A? We beat Chaparral, but Chaparral is probably the middle of the road. 6A team this year. If you look at all the 5A, 6A matchups this year, not one of the 5A teams has won any of the games against a prominent 6A team. So that's my opinion. That's how I see it. And I think most that are actually looking at it accurately, they would see it that way as well. But again, those are the rules. We'll play whoever they put in front of us, and our goal is just to go out and win every game that we play.
All right, Coach Hamilton, we thank you for being with us here on Saturday morning.
Okay, thank you.
That was Conrad Hamilton, the head coach of the Desert Mountain Wolves for the Desert Mountain Wolves Report. They've got Horizon on the next game up. The halfway point of the season has been hit. The Huskies will come and play on the road, so that's 2 teams that we here at the Varsity Sports Show very familiar with. A chance to get to watch both teams, 2 really good 5A programs, go up against it as we are moving right along. 9:24 local time. Guys, we look around the room. There's not a lot of show left. How's it gone so far?
I'm pretty excited. I'm happy the way it's been going.
Yeah, it's been fun. I've been having a good time.
Yeah, first time on the radio, and I've been having a blast.
It's been really fun for me to go out here and watch you guys go to work, and we look at the rest of the way. I think we've got a pre-recorded segment from Aaron on the way. Go ahead, Aaron. Take it away.
Good day, this is Christopher Shawn Nieto with the Varsity Sports Show with your Tempe Sports Report. Going from September 22nd to September 24th is a celebration of Sun Devil Spirit at the ASU Family Weekend. Enjoy family fun and educational activities for the whole family while learning more about your students' experience at ASU. From the ASU Family Block Party to the Spirit Hike Up a Mountain and the ASU home football game, there will be something for everyone to enjoy. Visit the ASU Family Weekend website and you'll be eligible to purchase especially discounted tickets to attend the ASU vs. UNC home game at Saturday, September 23rd at Mountain America Stadium. That's all for your Tempe Sports Report. Have a great rest of your day.
Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. My name is Zach Mott, and this week we'll get a closer look at the Arizona Diamondbacks' push for the postseason as the final 2 weeks of the regular season get underway. The Diamondbacks haven't reached the playoffs since 2017, a season in which they won 93 games and lost in the National League Divisional Series to the Los Angeles Dodgers in 3 games. However, with the emergence of likely National League Rookie of the Year Corbin Carroll and the consistency of the lineup as a whole, the Diamondbacks have produced their best offensive output since that 2017 season. While they aren't a team prominent in the power hitting department, they have been able to produce at a high rate with runners in scoring position, as well as getting great pitching from Zach Gallen, a top candidate for the National League Cy Young Award. The additions of Tommy Pham and Paul Sewald at the trade deadline signify the Diamondbacks' intentions to push for the postseason. Both have proven to be key contributors, as Pham has hit .256 with 6 home runs, along with 10 stolen bases, while Sewald has recorded 12 saves in 18 games. The Diamondbacks get set to face the Giants, Yankees, White Sox, and Astros to close out the year. The Chicago Cubs, Cincinnati Reds, Miami Marlins, and San Francisco Giants are all competing for the final 2 National League wildcard spots, along with Arizona. Diamondback fans hope the team can finish this season strong and earn themselves a home playoff game for the first time since 2017, bringing the race to the pennant back to Chase Field. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Zach Mott.
As we welcome you back inside Hubbard Radio Studio, final half hour on the way. That was Zach Mott talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks. We had a Tempe Sports Report from Chris. This is Ryan Sikora, Lofton Lechner, Shea Gara, and Dorian Zavala here with us today. Anything we want to get off our chests while we're going out here? We got a couple of minutes to fill before we go to big break, and then we start the back half of our show.
I'm actually about the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm very, very impressed with them this year. The way they've been able to battle through. They went through a couple slumps here towards the end, but they were able to right the ship. They're right in the playoff mix. Very, very impressed by them. What do you guys think?
Yeah, absolutely. Coming into this year, honestly, if you would have told me the D-backs would be in wild card contention, I would have struggled to believe that, but they've been amazing. Corbin Carroll, the pitching staff, they've had an amazing season.
Yeah, they've had the right bounces. Ketel Marte is back. You know, his odd year magic is back with him. Christian Walker is continuing to be a top 5 ML first baseman in the league. And then you have Corbin Carroll, the NL Rookie of the Year, and who looks to be a generational superstar on the team. Their offense has really taken that next step that they needed to take to really solidify themselves. Now, the only thing left that they need to do to make themselves a true World Series powerhouse contender is just to fix up that bullpen. Next year in the offseason, after this playoff run, which I know they will be going on, they just need to fix up that bullpen a little bit, and that NL West is looking very, very stacked with a good Padres team still, the Dodgers doing what they always do, and a Giants team who I'm still very high on with all of their young rookies.
You really think the Padres are going to be able to maintain that? I really don't.
But you're right, Lofton. Like, if you look toward the future, the near future, this division, all the teams are very talented, and they should be in contention the next couple of years. It's a really good division, you're right.
Yeah, I'm looking at the NL West kind of like how the AL East is playing out this year, where they've got 3 teams in the playoffs. 4 teams really were competing until Boston kind of faltered here in the second half. That's going to be the NL West next year. You're going to have probably 3 teams in the playoffs, if I'm being honest, and a 4th team is going to be knocking at the door.
Yeah, D-backs have been pretty good going so far. We are just about there. 30 minutes to go. Still the SaberCat Report. Get a chance to talk to Zach Hill. Check in with him after a rough one yesterday in California. And then the Aztec Report with Jake Barrow. Talk about Corona del Sol football. All still to come. Final 30 minutes on Saturday morning. KDUS AM 1060, the Varsity Sports Show.
Interact with Bob Kemp's poll question on KDUS1060.com. That's KDUS1060.com. And while you're there, check out Bob Kemp's bottom line at KDUS1060.com.
Hi, this is Mike from Beachin' with Beal, and you're listening to the Varsity Sports Show.
The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. With an experience so good it remains indescribable, with something for every seafood lover. Try one of their amazing custom seafood boils, sandwiches, appetizers, and salads. Angry Crab Shack Tempe is located east of I-10 on Warner Road, 480-674-3847. The Angry Crab Shack in Tempe. Come ready to eat. Hey guys, Vince here. I'd like to introduce you to my friend Eric Perry. He owns Eco Roofing Solutions. They're local and a big supporter of high school sports all over Arizona. Yes, they're statewide.
A little bit about me and Eco Roofing Solutions and what we're about. I'm a third generation roofer here in Arizona, and I've been doing this for 25 years.
Call Eric and his team at Eco Roofing Solutions, 480-695-7736, and they'll give you a fast, free, no-nonsense estimate. Tell them Vince sent you.
Extra Point with local and national topics, betting lines, and banter. Weekdays 10 to noon on KDUS AM 1060, KDUS1060.com, and the KDUS 1060 app.
You're listening to the SaberCat Report with our dad, Coach Zach Hill, on the Varsity Sports Show.
Easily my favorite intro that we have on the show. Zach Hill joins us, the head coach of the Saguaro SaberCats. Zach Hill, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Good morning.
Coach Hill, it was an interesting one, I guess, yesterday in California. You go out to play Sierra Canyon, you test your team. You probably learn a whole lot about your football program.
Absolutely, yeah, no doubt. It was a tough one, and Sierra Canyon, our hats off to them, and they got a good football team. They're well coached, and we knew it was going to be a big challenge, coming in. But they get guys from all over California, and obviously they played extremely well. So we had a tough battle ahead of us, and some things didn't go the right way early, which created a score that wasn't favorable to us.
What was sort of the big tipping point? Obviously, we've seen Saguaro over the past, 15 years lose games, but that one, I guess it got out of hand at some point. Was it just kind of you felt overmatched, or the team had just kind of mistakes? What kind of piled onto you there?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they're a good football team. They're very well coached and disciplined. First play of the game, they end up scoring on a pass over the top, and it's kind of snowballed from there. We ended up having a few turnovers, which we've been really good through the season so far up to this game. Offensively, not turning the ball over. But I think it was three or four turnovers in that game, and they didn't. I don't know if they had any. So, when you do that in a football game, it's tough to win games. So I know we weren't very good on third downs, offensively, and too many situations where we were 3 and out punting. So we just got to take a good look at this film. Offensively, defensively, special teams. We had a few guys out due to a few different factors. Take a good hard look and learn from it, and use it as motivation moving forward.
And you get right back to work this week with what is a really solid Centennial team. Richard Taylor has them at 5-0. What do you know about Centennial so far?
Yeah, a really good football team. Another great test for us. Obviously we're making the drive back here to Arizona today. This morning as we speak. And so that preparation will be started. And we talked to the guys after the game. But hey, the season doesn't stop. The challenges keep coming. So we've got to be able to move on and again, be able to learn from this and get better, get better as a football team, and get more disciplined, and put another game plan together, and attack practice on Monday. So here we go next week.
Coach Hill, this is Dorian Zavala from Cronkite. How you doing today?
Good.
So my question is, this is one of the games that you've had to travel pretty far for. Do you think the travel might have kind of affected the way you guys played?
I don't think so. I think our guys were excited to be on the road. I thought we handled the trip overall, from a team standpoint pretty well. And unfortunately the score didn't reflect that. But Anytime you're out of your element a little bit, it can play a factor with the guys. But I thought we did a good job in the hotel, and I thought we had good practices throughout the week. And unfortunately, it just got out of hand quickly with some turnovers and some things. Missed a couple guys on the back end of things. So anyway, I thought our guys did a really good job on the road.
Coach Lofton-Lechner here, senior at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism. So I just had one question for you. So what for you in your program, what are the benefits for playing and taking these out-of-state games against tougher opponents?
Well, I think it's a value to be able to have our kids, go travel and experience, being on the road. So that's that college feel, be able to go on the road and make a flight or a bus trip, somewhere else out of state, and be able to line up a great opponent and, be on a little bit more of a national stage. And so it's a good measuring stick for us as well. You play our Arizona schedule and the teams that you're going to be facing through the year, and then being able to set up a few of these challenging games on the road out of state, I think is a benefit for kids and families wanting to be a part of things like this, and having that that Saguaro brand and being able to face off against really good opponents.
Coach Hill, we thank you for being with us here. Have a safe trip back home to the Valley.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Zach Hill, the head coach of the Saguaro SaberCats. A 3-2 start for Saguaro. Schedule doesn't get any easier. They've got Centennial this Friday, then the big rivalry game against Chaparral. Liberty after that, who look like one of the best teams in the state. South Point Catholic and Pinnacle to close up Zach Hill's first season. Again, a 3-2 start coming off a big loss last night. On the road in California, 23 minutes left. We are going to continue to stay with us here. Aztec Report's on the way, but for that, Aaron Nemiroff has a fantasy football update.
Hey everyone, this is Aaron Nemiroff reporting with the Varsity Sports Show. We are officially 2 weeks through another exciting NFL season. I'm going to give you a breakdown of some of the studs and duds of the fantasy football season so far. We'll start with one of the most shocking breakout fantasy beasts, Puka Nacua. In PPR formats, Nacua has put up 52 fantasy points in the first 2 weeks combined. This ranks him second among all players, only behind Tyreek Hill. Nacua is now rostered in 89.4% of ESPN fantasy leagues. He was less than 3% rostered at the start of the season. It will be interesting to see how his production could change when former Triple Crown winner Cooper Kupp returns from his hamstring injury. Another huge breakout fantasy star has been Nakua's teammate, Kyren Williams. It's extremely rare for one team to have two fantasy breakout players because they tend to compete for touchdowns, but the Nacua and Williams duo have not had a problem. With Cam Akers having some off-the-field issues leading to him being benched, that's opened the door for Williams. Williams has already scored 3 times in 2 games this season. With Akers being traded to Minnesota on Wednesday, Williams is the clear lead back for the Rams for the remainder of the season and should continue to put up consistent RB1 numbers in all formats. As for some of the disappointments in the fantasy world, they haven't been quite as apparent as the 2 breakout guys. You can consider Cooper Kupp or Nick Chubb, both commonly picked in the first round who later got injured, but I don't think it's fair to consider them busts due to injuries. Jamar Chase is off to a slow start, but so is the entire Bengals team, so also not really fair to judge Chase. I'd argue Alexander Mattison has been the biggest disappointment. Mattison was finally given the opportunity to be the lead back in Minnesota following Dalvin Cook's departure in the offseason. Through 2 weeks, Mattison only has 19 total carries for 62 rushing yards. With the Vikings trading for Cam Akers, Mattison's usage should only go down. For the Varsity Sports Show, I'm Aaron Nemiroff.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Varsity Sports Show. That was Aaron Nemiroff with the fantasy football update. We are now joined by Corona football head ball coach Jake Barrow. Jake, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Thanks for having me on.
How you doing today, Coach?
Good. Doing well. Doing well.
That was a big victory for you guys last night, 56-7 over the Padres. Talk to me a little bit about that. What stood out to you last night from the previous 4 games?
Yeah, well, it's obvious we're starting to put it all together. Offensively, our passing game was pretty effective last night. Conrad really did a great job getting the ball around. We had 4 or 5 different receivers with catches on the night. A lot of them with explosive plays. Really, really did a tremendous job. Offensive line did not give up a sack all night, which, something we've been working on for sure over the last few weeks. And then defensively, we really finally played physical, flew around, made plays. They went down and scored the first drive, and then after that, we were able to shut them down pretty good. So really felt good about how we played in all 3 phases of the game.
Coach, well, as we mentioned, it was a slow start, but now you broke out last night. How do you keep your team motivated and keep going on that victory?
Yeah, I think we just build off of this. We know what it is. Our non-conference schedule in the beginning was really tough, right? We had out of our 3 losses, we lost to the number 1 team, we lost to the number 3 team, and we lost to the number 8 team in Arizona. So, those are tough losses, but they carry a large strength of schedule
right
with them. So, we just kind of preset to the kids. We're doing this to be battle tested and to help you see what the elite level in 6A looks like, and then from there you just continue to build. Right, we were able to get a win last night. We go into our bye week. We're going to continue to sharpen things up and head into our region play and hopefully get some wins there. And our goal is still to get in the 6A playoffs.
You mentioned your quarterback, Connor Ackerley. He right now is leading your conference with over 1,000 yards passing right now. How confident are you in his abilities to continue moving forward?
Yeah, no, he's tremendous quarterback, good, great leader, really understands the defense, understands the offense and how to run it effectively. I think the best thing about him is how much time he spends in preparation during the week. He spends a lot of time looking at opposing defenses, kind of understanding them inside and out. He's got great ideas for me and the rest of our coaching staff through the week. Hey, I think this might work. This is what I see. And he's got a lot of insight into that kind of stuff. So, we listen and we come up with a plan together, and he's done a great job from this point forward, just putting it all together on the field. I really expect him to have a big second half of the season.
Hey, Coach Barrow, this is Shea, a senior at the Cronkite Journalism School. I wanted to ask you also about Raiden Vinesbright, who's had a breakout junior year. What can you say about the step he's taken forward this season?
Yeah, he's tremendous. That last year, his sophomore year, was kind of a little bit of a secret, what we had with him. And then after last year, he came away with some offers from, schools like Michigan, Ole Miss, and Purdue, UCLA, Arizona State, University of Arizona, Washington, a lot of really, really good, Power 5 schools. So this year we went into the season, us and everybody kind of knowing what he is and the ability that he has and where his ceiling is. And so it's been a little bit more difficult. You go into every game and people are trying to bracket him. They're trying to double him. It's tough, but he's still been incredibly effective. Last night scoring 4 touchdowns. Just an unbelievable night for him. And he's really solidified himself as, the best receiver in the state of Arizona, in my opinion, especially considering the teams that we're playing. And our receiving core all the way around deserves a shout-out. It's tough to cover us. And if you take away one, somebody else is going to be wide open and have a big night. There's Zuri Glenn, another kid with Division I offers. We have Jai Jones, who's actually a freshman. And he's got multiple Division I offers and has had a tremendous start to the season. I expect him to have a breakout second half of the year as well. And just, really, really tough to take away from one thing, when we have athletes across the board.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Barrow, thank you for being with us here today. It was Coach Jake Barrow, the Aztec Report. His team starting to put it all together, in his words.
Thank you.
As we roll along, final 15 minutes on the way. Maybe our 2 best segments still to come. Beaching with Beal and then JR's Texas Tales. Still with us. 15 more minutes on the Varsity Sports Show. KDUS AM 1060.
Every Monday night, check out Ray Adams as he hosts the Monday Night Golf and Lifestyle Show from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
Hello, everyone. My name is Bennett Solomon, and I'm a senior journalism student at the University of Florida. I'm thrilled to be joining the Varsity Sports Show, and I'll be providing local sports coverage in Florida. You can find me on Twitter at B_Solly11, and I can't wait to get started.
The Varsity Sports Show is proud to present the Thursday and Saturday night high school football game of the week. Coaches, administrators, boosters, and fans partner up with the varsity team to broadcast your games this fall. Choose from Thursday or Saturday night and have an exclusive audience on a big stage. Call or text us at 480-779-9437 right away and join our team. High school football action on Thursdays and Saturday nights this fall, brought to you by the Varsity Sports Show.
Hey, this is Ralph Farrell, Carefree's #1 sports enthusiast, and want to tell you about a new radio show that's really hitting the spot. The Varsity Sports Show, which takes care of everything from high school, junior high school, college, community college sports. You got to listen to it. It's on 1060 AM, Arizona. No? Yes?
Check out KDUS AM 1060 on 100.7 KSLX HD2. That's right, HD Radio on 100.7 channel number 2.
And now it's time for Beachin' with Beal. Random thoughts from a real Orange County, California surfer guy, Mike Beal. The opinions expressed during this segment in no way represent those of KDUS AM 1060 Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show, its host, or its listeners.
All right, welcome to another edition of everyone's favorite segment, the Beach and Beal Southern California Surf Report. Actually, with some international flavor today, Mike is joining us from Mexico. Mike.
Buenos dias, amigo. ¿Qué tal?
This is an international show today. The show's taking on an international flavor. You're in Mexico. Why are you in Mexico?
Vince, I choppered in last night for a fiesta. That means party at my wife's family's rancho. That means large house. So it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a big one. Parties down here are a little bit different than America. They last for like anywhere between 8 and 12 hours. They're not the standard, come on over for a couple hours, eat some food, open some presents, and then be summarily dismissed. It's a big one.
Wow. So what are some interesting things besides a party that you've been able to partake in while you're there? Is there surfing?
We couldn't be any further from a beach. I was just complaining to my wife about that on the way down here.
Okay. Is there a lake, a body of water, a pool?
The weather's great. I mean, if there was here, it's sort of more like it's an old mining actually struck silver here, the biggest silver haul in the history of the Spanish Empire. So it's kind of a colonial town. It's a little different, but weather-wise, it's sort of like Flagstaff. It's crisp, kind of high up in the mountains. It's quite lovely, though, actually. Although it's a little bit warm now, it's sort of like maybe what Phoenix is like. I don't know, mid-80s. Is Phoenix that cool yet?
Not quite. Have you angered any of the locals yet with any of your odd habits?
I have not been able to dazzle any of the locals yet. However, I am planning on doing so on Sunday. There is a golf tournament here, which I am going to participate in and hopefully win in the name of the Varsity Sports Show.
Mike, as you know, you are essentially an ambassador to our program. So everything you say when you're waving the banner of the Varsity Sports Show is representative of our show. So how have you been able to spread goodwill on behalf of our program in Mexico? You're basically the Dennis Rodman of our show.
Well, the Dennis Rodman. I'm going to be wearing that gigantic golf shirt that you gave me that says Varsity Sports Show, even though it's sort of embarrassing for me because it's so huge. It must have been yours before you dropped all that weight that you were telling me about. But I'm still going to do it, Vince, for you, for our fans, and for the show. It's a no-holds-barred, cutthroat tournament for all the pesos you can give me.
How's the food?
And I'm gonna win.
Yeah. How's the food been?
It's different. It's I kind of might drop a few pounds while I'm here. We'll see, but it's good. But it just doesn't quite taste the same as home.
What kind of message can you give our viewers about international travel? Is it safe? Is it what are some precautions you need to take? Yeah, give us some tips and some things you can pass along to our listeners in terms of some precautions they need to take when traveling internationally.
Well, off the top of my head, I can tell our listeners 2 wrongs don't make a right. So when you make a mistake down here, don't compound the problem by making further mistakes. Also, the people down here in Mexico appreciate when you attempt to speak their language. So for you could say like, "Hola, señor. Estoy feo y estúpido. Mucho gusto." So I'll let the listeners look that one up, but it means I'm cool. Nice to meet you. So
okay. All right, that's good, Mike. Mike, what can we look forward to on future episodes of the Beachin' with Beal Southern California Surf Report?
I'm excited to get back, Vince, and get back on the air when I get home. Now is a magical time of Southern California because combining with swells from the Aleutian Islands from the north. So over the course of the next couple of months, there's going to be a lot of waves. There's going to be a lot of talk about surfing, and there's going to be a lot of talk about how great.
Anything else going on, Mike, besides the fall surf? And once you get back into town, anything exciting?
Not too much. Just today, we're going to go have some lunch. Might do a little light shopping. Who knows? But when we get back into town, I will make sure and record meticulously what's happening for the next Southern California's Beachin' with Beal Surf Report for the Varsity Sports Show.
All right. Thanks so much, Mike. And all the way from Zacatecas, Mexico, is Mike Beal with the Southern California Surf Report. We'll talk to you soon, Mike.
Thank you very much, Vince. Hasta luego.
Who doesn't love Beachin' with Beal? Hasta luego. That was Mike Beal with Vince Delicio. We are closing stretch here. We're going to get you to JR's Texas Tales. I promise you. But first, we're going to go around the room. Start with Dorian. Favorite part of today?
Favorite part of today was just interviewing Coach Barrow, getting to know the team, just the experience of doing this live. It was awesome. Shout out to my family back home. They were listening.
Shawn?
Yeah, I would just say the entire experience, the interviews, just talking to you guys, being here with you guys. I got to do this last year, be here a couple times on the Varsity Sports Show, and being back, it's just awesome. Great feeling.
Yeah, I really love the camaraderie we had in this group. Just going through the interviews with you guys, doing everything here live and in person in the studio. It was just a great experience. Working off each other. Would love to do it again.
Second time hosting here in the studio for me. I really enjoyed being with you guys today. I appreciate it. There was a little bit of chatter over one of the breaks earlier about having like an NFL pick'em or whatever. Shea, I know you wanted to do some NFL picks. We got to go quickly, but if you want to do it, go right ahead.
All right, this is very bold, and it's a local pick here. I'm sure a lot of you listeners will like this. The Cardinals, Vegas doesn't like the Cardinals against the Cowboys this weekend. The Cowboys are minus 12.5. I not only think the Cardinals will cover, I think they'll win.
Wow. The Cardinals, who have been...
The Cardinals will win.
Maybe the worst
Sunday.
team in football for 2 quarters, the last 2 quarters of football that we saw. They're going to beat the best team in football right now that have looked the best team in football.
So
they're not the best team. The Cowboys are not.
They're not. Yeah. They're one of the best teams. But I just think, the Cardinals being at home for them, it's a huge difference between being in Dallas, but I just feel like Dallas had a really tough injury with Trayvon Diggs going down, and I think their defense will regress a little bit, and I think the Cardinals probably should have won one of those 2 games, so I'm going to be bold and say it.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. There you go, Shea with one of the boldest picks of the year. We're going to say our goodbyes. So for me, Ryan Sikora, I'm going to say thank you to my co-hosts, Shea Gara, Dorian Zavala, and Lofton Lechner. Our guests, which include Saguaro head football coach Zach Hill, Horizon head football coach Andy Litton, Corona del Sol football coach Jake Barrow, Brophy coach Jason Jewell, Jeff Alba from Arcadia football, Desert Mountain head coach Conrad Hamilton, Papago Pumas HJCAC football coach William Strother, Mohave girls flag football coach Kelly Burgess. They won their game this weekend. Mountain View coach Joe Germaine. They all joined us here today. Please be sure to check out all our archived content on Twitter at Varsity Show, as well as Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Thanks to our producer, Aaron Decker. And join us back here next Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., 1060 KDUS, Arizona, the Varsity Sports Show. JR's Texas Tales. It's the best show of the day.
KK was born an only child yearning for a larger family. However, youthful decisions led her down a path marred by addiction and crime, resulting in repeated prison sentences. In 2009, a pivotal moment occurred during one of her incarcerations, the birth of her first grandchild. This event served as a wake-up call, igniting a determination to be present for her family and to guide others away from trouble. Upon her release in 2012, KK founded a faith-based recovery program offering a guiding light to those seeking a sober path. Her contributions expanded further as the community ministry grew, providing recovery support and assistance to the homeless. Simultaneously, she worked for the state, serving 23 counties and aiding women entangled in Child Protective Service cases. In this role, Catherine KK Thomas worked with these women for up to a year, helping them navigate the journey to reunite with their children. She supported them in securing housing, employment, and completing required classes, and facilitated supervised visits with foster parents. Remarkably, every case she handled resulted in the determined mothers successfully regaining custody of their children. Recently, Catherine made a choice to leave her state job, dedicating her efforts to her ministry, Unshackled by Grace. Her future vision includes establishing a brick-and-mortar store where local artisans in recovery can sell their creations, offering a flicker of hope to others during their darkest moments.
Thank you for listening to the Varsity Sports Show, where our mission is to empower education and enable dreams, creating an unmatched platform to showcase talent both in front of and behind the microphone in radio, television, podcast, and live streaming. The Varsity Sports Show, still your home for youth, high school, college, and you in Arizona and beyond.
Broadcasting from the Superbook Sports Studios, KTUS AM 1060 Tempe, Phoenix, and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale, Phoenix.